Welcome to the Dodgers Blue News channel. Before the news, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Now, let's get to the Dodgers news.
Hey Dodgers fans! It's time to dive into the backstage, bold moves, and blockbuster trades. The proposal that hit the Dodgers' radar caught the attention of the entire baseball world. We're talking about one of the hottest arms of the season, boasting a 1.07 ERA and currently shining in the Twins' bullpen. Look how the game changes. There was a time when imagining the Dodgers chasing pitching reinforcements sounded like pure fantasy. After all, following an offseason packed with signings, the outlook seemed promising. But then came the 2025 regular season, bringing with it a wave of injuries. To give you an idea, out of the 4 primary names projected for the rotation, only Scott remains active on the roster. The risk of missing the playoffs? Non-existent. But anyone following this team knows, they're not here to settle for less. And if there's one thing the Dodgers have proven over the past few seasons, it's that when they decide to make a move, it's never for just any piece. They aim high. Always. And check out this piece of info. Straight from Clutch Points, Garrett Kerman dropped a name on the table that could completely reshape the bullpen. Jhoan Duran, the Minnesota Twins closer. The proposal? A 1-for-1 trade involving outfield prospect Josue De Paula, one of the crown jewels of the Dodgers farm system. Imagine it. Duran arriving to form a wall at the back of the bullpen alongside Evan Phillips and Buster Gratterall. A trio that would make any lineup think twice before even dreaming of a late-game comeback. Sure, the price is steep, but the depth of this roster allows a move like this without sacrificing the future. On the Twins' side, this wouldn't be just any deal. Landing De Paula, who's poised to become one of baseball's next big stars in a few years, would further strengthen a system that already features talents like Walker Jenkins and Emmanuel Rodriguez. And it's no exaggeration when talking about Duran. At 27 years old, the guy is simply on fire. Over 25 innings, he holds a 1.07 ERA, with 30 strikeouts and 9 saves. A spectacle of a fastball clocking over 100 miles per hour and a splinter that leaves hitters completely baffled. Of course, there's a factor that could complicate things. The Twins currently sit at 30-25, right in the playoff race, which could reduce their willingness to part with a guy like Duran. On top of that, he's under team control for another 2 years. No real pressure for Minnesota to make a move. Now, imagine what it means for a player like Jhoan Duran to wear the Dodgers uniform. Playing in Los Angeles isn't just switching teams. It means stepping into an environment where expectations are sky high, where winning isn't just a goal, it's the culture. It's being part of an organization that, year after year, goes all in on competing for the title, with a structure designed to develop talent, maximize performance, and put players in the best possible position to succeed. For Duran, it would be a massive leap forward in his career. Not that pitching in Minnesota isn't meaningful, of course. The Twins are a respected organization, competitive, with a promising young core. But suiting up for the Dodgers means playing in a much bigger market, with global visibility, constant playoff presence, and a real opportunity to fight for the World Series nearly every year. Plus, he wouldn't be alone on the mound. He'd join a bullpen that's already well-structured, with guys like Evan Phillips and Buster Gratterall, arms who not only hold it down in late innings but do it with efficiency, consistency, and confidence. The environment is as competitive as it is collaborative. Players share experiences, refine details, work with some of the best pitching coaches in MLB, and have access to top-tier technology and analytics to elevate their game. The Dodgers' style of play would suit Duran perfectly. This is a team that constantly puts its pitchers in situations where they can play to their strengths. Duran brings a fastball that flies over 100 miles per hour and a splinter that simply destroys any attempt at solid contact. In Los Angeles, he'd have the freedom and support to lean heavily into those pitches, with fine-tuning that could take his already elite game to an even higher level. There's also the mental and emotional side of playing on a stage like Dodger Stadium. Pitching in front of 50,000 plus fans, feeling that playoff atmosphere, living through those October nights with the entire city buzzing, that's an experience that shapes careers. For many players, that's exactly the fuel that takes their performance to another level. On top of that, Duran's profile would skyrocket within MLB. Playing for the Dodgers naturally brings recognition. All-Star game nods become more frequent. His name isn't just mentioned among the league's best closers, it's right there with the top pitchers in baseball, period. At the end of the day, it's the kind of opportunity few players would turn down. Trading the label of rising star for a spot on a legitimate powerhouse, with real chances of lifting trophies, playing in decisive series, and making history wearing one of the most iconic jerseys in sports. It's the kind of move that not only changes the trajectory of a player's career but also impacts the entire dynamic of the team, the season, and maybe even the league. Having Jhoan Duran on the Dodgers roster wouldn't simply mean adding another talented arm to the bullpen. It would be about raising the bar, turning an already solid unit into an outright fortress in the late innings. Duran brings something beyond numbers. He brings presence. He commands respect on the mound and completely changes how opponents approach any game against the Dodgers. The arrival of an elite pitcher like this directly impacts game management. Dave Roberts would have a top-tier weapon to work with, someone who naturally shortens games. When a team knows it has a guy who can slam the door shut in the 8th or 9th inning, or even step into higher leverage situations as needed, everything shifts. The rotation feels less pressure, the bullpen balances out more evenly, and the hitters play looser, knowing that any lead is likely to be locked down. Duran also brings versatility. He's not just the classic closer who shows up in the 9th with a 3-run lead. He's the guy you can throw into the highest pressure moments, regardless of inning, whether it's putting out a fire in the middle of a tough lineup or ensuring a comeback doesn't happen. He fits perfectly into the Dodgers model, which prioritizes matchups, flexibility, and creative bullpen management. Another factor that matters a lot over the course of a long MLB season is how a player of this caliber impacts the rest of the group. Having someone like Duran raises the internal bar. It's the kind of addition that motivates everyone to step up. Veterans feel more protected, knowing there's more margin to manage workloads. And the younger players look around and realize they're part of a serious project, one that's not just about competing but about winning. There's also a key strategic angle. Adding Duran means better managing the bullpen across the grind of the season. Phillips, Gratterall, and others wouldn't have to be pushed to the limit game after game. That directly translates into fresher arms, physically and mentally, down the stretch, when October baseball demands every ounce of precision. On a larger scale, acquiring Duran sends a clear message to the rest of the league. It's the Dodgers saying, if there's a piece that can make us even stronger, we're going for it. And if that means building a bullpen that's nearly impossible to face, that's exactly what's going to happen. If this move goes through, Dodgers fans can expect a leap in quality that goes far beyond what it looks like on paper. Jhoan Duran's arrival means security, confidence, and the sense that no matter the challenge, this team is ready to face any opponent, anywhere, anytime. What fans can expect is a bullpen with a completely different look. Games that used to feel tense in the late innings suddenly have a much more favorable script. That classic 8th and 9th inning nervousness, when any mistake could be costly, turns into something much more controlled. Having a pitcher who delivers 100-plus mph heaters combined with a nearly unhittable splinter completely shifts the dynamics of any close game. Fans can also expect more peace of mind throughout the season. You know that fear of overworking certain arms, of seeing the bullpen running on fumes come September? That pretty much disappears. With Duran on board, the team gains breathing room, flexibility, and, most importantly, consistency. If the Dodgers take the lead, they're going to hold it. And if the game's tight, there's someone perfectly built to slam the door shut on the opponent. Beyond the on-field impact, this is the kind of acquisition that brings a new energy to the clubhouse and fires up the fanbase. Every time Duran steps onto the mound, it becomes an event. The energy at Dodger Stadium spikes. The anticipation builds. Every strike is a reason to leap out of your seat. You're not just watching a game, you're watching a showcase of talent, power, and precision. And, of course, with all of this comes exactly what every fan wants, a greater chance of watching this team lift trophies. If the Dodgers already come into every season as one of the favorites, Duran only cements that status further. He's not just a regular season reinforcement, he's a weapon built for October, when every pitch matters and every detail determines who advances and who goes home. The expectation isn't just for wins. It's for dominance. It's about looking at this bullpen, this roster, and knowing the team is building something truly special, something worthy of Dodgers history and the passion of this fan base. From my perspective, Jhoan Duran on the Dodgers makes complete sense, on paper and in practice. It's the kind of fit that feels natural, almost inevitable, when you look at the team's needs, the player's profile, and the timing of the season. Los Angeles has a track record of turning talent into even more valuable pieces within their system, and Duran, with the weapons he brings, would quickly become one of the most impactful names on the roster. What stands out to me most is how perfectly his style aligns with the Dodgers' philosophy. He's a pitcher who doesn't rely on tricking hitters with endless variations. He brings brute force, control, and confidence. Within a system that maximizes data, fine adjustments, and positioning, his performance has every chance to reach even greater heights. On top of that, I love the idea because it's not just a move to solve a short-term problem. Duran isn't a rental. He comes with 2 years of control, meaning he's not just part of the push to win now, but also a key piece for keeping the Dodgers at the top in the coming seasons. If there's any hesitation, it's in the price. Giving up a prospect like Josue De Paula is never easy, and it's a move that needs careful calculation. But realistically, teams like the Dodgers face this kind of dilemma every year, and they usually get it right. To me, if this trade happens, it's not just a good idea. It's a statement. A message to the entire league that the Dodgers remain absolutely committed to turning talent, depth, and smart management into championships. And honestly, I see Duran thriving under the bright lights at Dodger Stadium. Taking a broader view of this potential move, it's clear that trading for Jhoan Duran fits perfectly within the philosophy the Dodgers have embraced in recent years. This organization isn't afraid to make aggressive moves, especially when the gain is clear and doesn't compromise the long-term future. This is exactly one of those situations. On the baseball side, Duran solves a real need. Injuries to both the rotation and the bullpen have shown that even with a deep roster, there's room, and even urgency, to reinforce the late-game pitching staff. His ability to dominate hitters, shorten games, and thrive under pressure fits perfectly with a team whose mindset is aimed at October from the moment spring training starts. Strategically, this trade offers balance. It allows the coaching staff to better manage innings, protect the most used arms, and keep the group fresh and productive through the entire season. It also strengthens the bullpen to the point where the Dodgers could realistically have one of the most lethal units in MLB. Naturally, there's the cost. Losing Josue De Paula, one of the most promising prospects in the system, is no small decision. But when you look at the present, at the open championship window, the cost feels justified. The depth of the Dodgers farm system allows this kind of investment without jeopardizing the future. In the end, the potential arrival of Jhoan Duran is without a doubt a move that embodies everything it means to be the Dodgers. Ambition, aggressiveness in the market, intelligent roster management, and, above all, an unrelenting commitment to winning. It's the kind of decision that separates the organizations that merely compete from those that are constantly pursuing greatness. If this deal gets done, it's clear that Los Angeles remains, now more than ever, firmly on the path to building a team not just to win, but to make history. Now it's over to you. What do you think? Is giving up a prospect like Josue De Paula worth it to have Jhoan Duran dominating on the mound at Dodger Stadium? Share your thoughts in the comments. See you next time, Dodgers Nation.